7 to 9, it's Tingle and Co. It's Tingle and Co. From 7 to 9, come keep with the show. It's a new era. Let's get it, let's go. From 7 to 9, it's Tingle and Co. What up, Lloyd? What up, Lloyd? You can call me him. I'm Shaq Dixon in the whip with them RPMs. Gotta pull up to the chat and shit out to them. Not trying to ball like big folk, then get out the gym. Monday through Friday from 7 to 9. When you see that notification, we about to go live. Hit this track and do you dance like you Karen Lacey. Run it back to time, Matthew to the house, baby. It's Tingle and Co. From 7 to 9. Come keep with the show. It's a new era. Let's get it, let's go. From 7 to 9. It's Tingle and Co. It's Tingle and Co. From 7 to 9. Come keep with the show. It's a new era. Let's get it, let's go. From 7 to 9. It's Tingle and Co. What up, Lloyd? What up, Lloyd? You can call me him. I'm Shaq Dixon in the whip with them RPMs. Gotta pull up to the chat and shit out to them. Not trying to ball like big folk, then get out the gym. Monday through Friday from 7 to 9. When you see that notification, we about to go live. Hit this track and do you dance like you Karen Lacey. Run it back to time, Matthew to the house, baby. It's Tingle and Co.
All right. Good morning and welcome in here as we are rolling right through the week. It is a Wednesday morning here live from our Southern Regional Medical Center studios here in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, as we prepare for LSU-South Carolina, 6:45 p.m., a SEC matchup, a Saturday night in Death Valley. Lloyd, good morning, my friend.
Yeah.
There you go. Got it.
We're hot keyed.
Got it figured out. We are we're getting comfortable here in the new digs in the new studio.
Oh, are we?
We still haven't taken the next step and putting some stuff on the walls yet.
That's okay. Look at this. I have two angles of
Now we've got two cameras, two shots here.
Oh, you dirty boy.
But we appreciate you guys joining us here on this Wednesday morning, live here from Southern
This
Regional
camera
Medical
didn't move
Center.
for 2 years.
And no, it didn't. Lloyd worked hard. Lloyd got it figured out to take care of us here, and we're going to continue to get more and more comfortable getting things set up here in the new studio.
Oh, Luke, I am your father. Lola, Lolila. That's Tommy Boy.
Honestly, I kind of wish you didn't get this camera figured out. You would have
Put it
just
on me.
left it alone. But
Mini fridge is here.
we have the mini fridge set up. Shout out to Charles, Jason, Kevin, BJ, the rest of the team here at Southern Regional. Fonz, watch your mouth, sir. Watch your mouth. But we appreciate y'all getting in here this morning, hanging out with us as today on Tingle and Co.
It's amazing what an angle can do.
It is. I guess it is.
For all the people that take pictures out there, it's all about the angles.
It is. It is. You gotta find your good side.
Watch your fawns.
Find your good side. Yeah, find your Fonz. Have a friend like Fonz. Today we will go through the skill position preview for this Saturday's matchup, LSU and South Carolina. I've got notes on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or 7 guys. Shout out to Christian for South Carolina. Mostly there's 4 that I have highlighted more in depth that we'll dive into later on this morning. I'm sure we will also be joined by Jacques Doucet at 8:15 this a.m. And we're going to take your calls. I know we're going to try not to confuse y'all too much because I know it's always been a Wednesday thing, and we moved it to Monday. It's going to be Mondays after games. So after a game weekend like next week, it'll be Monday we take your phone calls. On a week like this week, it's just back to its normal day, which is Wednesday, where we let you guys call in to the show phone. And so we'll set that up a little bit later on and let you guys get your takes, get your questions, and get your thoughts in. And if you need a little therapy from Lloyd, that is always readily available as well.
If Rosillo can give life advice, why can't I?
No, I agree. I always, anytime
He's got a more sordid history than I do.
Anytime I say that we give life advice, I always point your name out specifically.
Yeah, I've
been through the ringer.
Oh, yeah.
Got the experiences.
I can tell you how to get into Clemson security, get out of Clemson security.
I can tell you how to get your blood pressure down while Lloyd is being questioned by Clemson security.
I can tell you how to get out of a Las Vegas jail.
Uh-huh.
A Houston jail. I was just detained. Baton Rouge jail. Detained. You got to talk.
Yeah.
And sometimes you got to know when to shut up.
Yep. There you go. Got to know when to talk your way out of it.
Know when to hold them and know when to fold them.
There you go. But in other news, you saw the announcement yesterday via Kendall Rogers. And I don't know if this came as a surprise to anyone. Maybe a few. But Derek Curiel will be LSU's center fielder in 2026 as Chris Stanfield will shift over to left field. Lloyd, how surprised were you, my friend?
I already knew, but
right.
Not surprised at all, considering, Stanfield comes back, and this is the ultimate team guy, right?
Right.
Like, somebody that, I guess, put his name into the draft, and then here's the news that it's a win-win for everybody. It's the opportunity for him to be able to go say, look, I can play different positions, and also team move to that was DC3, now we're DC6 in center.
Uh-huh.
And to let him be able to shine in his draft-eligible sophomore year.
Right.
This is his money year now. For him to go where he wants to go, he probably needs to prove that he can play center field, and he'll play a great center field. But the most asinine take I saw was from somebody that writes for Vanderbilt that said, Chris Stanfield never played a good center field anyway.
Just go turn the film on from 2025.
Pretty sure he did.
Pretty sure he played a great center
for a national
field.
championship team.
And because I think most expected, kind of like you were saying, the Dylan Cruz track, where you start in one of the corner spots for your freshman year just to get comfortable, and then obviously once the page turns, you shift over to center, which is what Cruz did. He started in right, moves over to center field, Curiel in left, and then is now moving over to center field. I'm sure that's what the recruiting pitch was. For your sophomore season, you're going to be our center fielder. And so that's where he'll be. But I think the only confusion came from the fact that Stanfield was coming back and what will the dynamic be. But obviously Stanfield is a team-first guy, and he will be in left field. And this is, when you sit back and you look at it, and I know we've spoken about it back when Stanfield announced his return. This is I don't know the full country, but I would be hard-pressed to find an outfield that's going to be better than LSU's outfield in 2026, right? If you're going from left to right, Stanfield, Curiel, Brown, that's already a national championship outfield, as we've seen.
Literally.
Last season, and they'll all be back.
And then after that, you can see why the man is recruiting the way he is, because you go look at the infield and you go, well, there's one there that I know is going to play.
Right. There's one position
that's the most important position in the infield,
and he might also be
the best one in the country.
Right.
But he couldn't play it. Remember?
Yeah, he doesn't have the arm
to
too
short.
Across the diamond.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it looked pretty good last year, and so
maybe people will know ball this year. We put him on game.
Well, and maybe
he came with us to Omaha.
Right. Well, maybe I think the narrative is going to start to shift to the fans viewing it differently than football, where it's just like, just hold it out. Just trust the guy in charge. Because last season, remember where we were after game 1 loss to South Carolina, last series of the year? I think it was a Thursday night that game was played. LSU loses to South Carolina on a wild pitch walk-off. And it was a dark time for a lot of the fan base. And Lloyd was a bright, shining light of positivity. Just hold the rope, fellas. Hold the rope. And then you lose to Little Rock in an ugly game, and it's like...
Then you go down...
to West Virginia. You go down against West Virginia. You go down in the College World Series, but they always found a way. Jay Johnson always had his finger on the right button, and he made it happen.
When they ran into each other in the outfield, when it was the Stanfield,
Right.
Dickinson, Milam, all three convert. That was when it was like, oh.
Well, yeah, because
the
it
first
was
time you've seen him make a mistake. It's like, oh, this is now we're compounding error.
Right,
Now we need
right.
a timeout.
Right.
And guess what you got? Timeout.
And
Hey, fellas,
they made it work.
Come here.
And he's put together a squad, but just to
And now
highlight,
he's recruiting his ass off.
right, and just to highlight that outfield. I mean, that is the best outfield in college baseball because they all three have rings, and they don't just have the ring just because it was a participation ring. They were your outfielders in a national championship run.
None of which hit the transfer portal.
No, as
After
though
much
many
conjecture.
suspected. Maybe one would leave. They don't, and it'll be Stanfield, Curiel, Brown, left to right, which is pretty impressive. Speaking of impressive, and speaking of Jay Johnson, the man doesn't sleep, and he just does not stop. If you are ever down in the dumps because LSU football has you sad or upset or they're losing, and it's just you can't quite find your joy, Jay Johnson and LSU baseball is always going to deliver as they get a huge addition to their 2026 class. Aledo, Texas, left-handed pitcher Lucas Naraki is headed to Baton Rouge. He is the number 22 high school prospect in that class and the number 5 arm in 2026. Just a little bit on the report. He, like I said, he is a lefty. He's an undersized southpaw with enormous stuff and a chance to shut down opponents at the end of games if he doesn't ultimately stay in the rotation. He's a supreme athlete with a super quick arm, generates huge hip-shoulder separation, well above average extension, and outlier scapular to deliver mid-90s fastball capable of blowing hitters away. He's just, from everything I've read and seen, he's quite impressive. Now, this is the game. This is the game you play with Jay Johnson, where we can get excited about Lucas because he's one of the best in the country. And Joe Doyle from that covers minor league baseball said maybe the best raw stuff in America. But you never know if they're going to make it to campus. Jay Johnson recruits at such a high level, and it seems like Major League Baseball is essentially just allowing Jay Johnson to scout for them.
Yeah.
Be like, well, if they are at LSU, they're probably going to be pretty good, and if LSU's recruiting them there, it's probably a pretty safe bet as well. And here's the young man who's pretty impressive. We'll see. We'll ride it out. We'll see if he makes his way to campus or not. But yeah, he's mid-90s from the left side.
He's a tall little fella.
He is.
Make a play.
Got some guys behind him as well. So we'll see if Lucas if Lucas makes it to campus. Obviously, if he does, it'll be massive because he is a huge get for Jay Johnson.
Legs.
Hey, ain't nothing wrong with that. Oh, a little error there. He's all legs and a left arm.
He's got no midriff.
Love
him. Get to campus.
Hey, you don't need a torso.
Yeah.
You need a torso to pitch.
That's right. Get stretched out at LSU.
Who needs a torso? Who needs a core? Who needs an abdomen? You can just rip it with your left arm.
It's like a little Tim Lincecum.
And if you want to just keep the baseball vibes rolling, you can head out to Alec Box this weekend as LSU has fall ball this weekend. The gates will open 15 minutes prior to the first pitch. Obviously, admission is free. This Thursday at 4:30. That is tomorrow, 4:30 p.m. You can go in at 4:15. Friday, 4 p.m. And then Sunday, hopefully riding the high of an LSU victory over South Carolina, get into Alec Box at 1:30 p.m. And check your Tigers out as fall ball is back. So just continue to ride the high of LSU baseball. And other LSU sports news, go ahead.
If LSU baseball, or I'll put it this way, if LSU football loses on Saturday, what are the chances that maybe we throw an LSU baseball scrimmage during the next home game just to see?
to see what the
Tear it
crowds look like. I think, and I'm going to pose this question to you in the chat.
You're entertaining this idea.
Do you think the crowd for the fall ball game on Sunday will be larger post victory on Saturday or post loss on Saturday?
Post loss.
That's what I was thinking. The same thing.
Time to move on.
Turn the page.
Turn the page to a winner.
Yeah. Jay, here I am.
Yeah, I'm back.
I'm back.
You know, I'm addicted to football.
Chat,
but
you guys.
This is my real love.
Yeah. No, I mean, you've never failed me, Jay.
You haven't.
You haven't. I'll ask.
This is what winning looks like.
Chat, do y'all think the crowd will be bigger fall ball Sunday if LSU wins or loses Saturday night?
I want my peanuts and crackers.
Because I can see the aspect of
turning the page.
Or just like riding the high of like, oh, I mean, I'm
yeah. Let's go back out to baseball.
I'm sleeping in the RV still. I'm still on campus.
Might as well walk it out.
Just go. I'm slide in the alley box at 1:30 p.m.
Or I'm gonna stay out of spite, get hammered drunk in the RV, and then walk on over and be like, "This is what I thought. This is what I needed."
Gage Evans post lost easily. Need a morale boost. Yeah, I think that might be. Brian Burgess says I think it'll be the same, no matter. Sabron bigger if they lose.
No doubt.
It'll be interesting.
Don't forget who this fan base is.
I know. We're gonna have to keep our. We're gonna have to track that now this weekend. I guess we have no comparison, but we're just gonna have to see what it looks like on Sunday. See.
And the chirps at the baseball, at the baseball game Sunday will all be about football.
And that's what I was about to say. It also especially if it's a loss.
Yeah.
You'll if you just walk around alley box, all the conversation are gonna be watching the game. Nobody's going to be talking about the 2026 baseball season watching it. No. They're going to be enjoying what they're watching and saying, well, maybe last night if LSU could have. The murmurs around Alec Box on Sunday will be second to none post-loss. Bo Brewer, I'm going bigger if LSU wins.
That would be awesome, man.
Cajun Curveball, I'm ready for the booing at Tiger Stadium.
I'm interested in that as well.
So we'll see what it looks like.
Hopefully it doesn't come to that.
Do what?
Hopefully it doesn't come to that.
Yeah, no, I agree. I would prefer it not. And other LSU sports news, SEC tip-off for the 2026 season is this month. It is October 15th, next week. Matt McMahon will be headed out with Jalen Reed, DJ Thomas, and Markel Sutton, 2 transfer portal additions, the 2 biggest names out of the portal, as well as his returning star in Jalen Reed coming off of an ACL injury. A lot of people excited for LSU basketball. Most people are in the similar position of wait and see. I'll see it. I'll believe it when I see it. I'm excited to see what those guys have in store. You'll hear from them on October 15th, as well as at SEC tip-off, LSU women's basketball will make the trip. Kim Mulkey will bring – I'll let you guess the 3 players that she's going to bring, Lloyd. Which 3 women's basketball players are joining Mulkey in Birmingham?
Oh, Alexis Morris, Angel Reese, and Haley Van Lith.
Yeah, good choice. Try on Flau'jae Johnson, Michaela Williams, and Mylasia Fulwiley. So the 2 stars that have been here, and then the star-studded new addition in Mylasia Fulwiley will join Kim Mulkey in Birmingham. So that's your news for LSU men's and women's basketball coming up and baseball getting kicked off. So as much as football is in full swing, the other sports are sniffing around, hopefully not smelling blood. Hopefully there will be LSU football victories so that the other sports aren't getting double the support in the middle of LSU football season.
Or just double your effort.
There you go. That is also very possible. Let's see what else the chat is saying. Brian Burgess, crowds will probably be bigger because LSU won the College World Series, of course. Sabron, I figured she would have took Jada. I think Jada's still going to have her opportunities down the line. She's younger. She will be a sophomore, so she'll still have her opportunities to be the leader taken on that trip. But this morning,
you really could have just taken Flau'jae. She's such a personality.
Did you see the line of people to meet Flau'jae at the women's basketball event last night, like the video of it? I think Bree Andrus from WBRZ posted it on Twitter. It was like I don't even think she got through the whole line. Like I think she apologized. Flau'jae did on Twitter. Like, sorry I didn't get to everybody. I appreciate all the love and support because it was quite impressive to see the line that was in. It's just we say. I think a lot of times the word superstar can get thrown around lightly. This is the sheer definition of what a superstar is. There's no ifs, ands, or buts if Flau'jae Johnson is a superstar. She is a superstar. She's not just a star player. She's a superstar, and she had quite the turnout to come and meet Big Four.
I don't think she even expected this.
I don't know. It was, but I mean, look at that.
It's the whole gym. One person.
Superstar. I mean, that is a superstar. Like, there's no conversation about it. They're wearing her jersey in line, waiting, and it's just people flock towards her, and it's because of who she is as a person. Obviously, a magnetic personality, a big personality, but it also helps when you're pretty good at basketball.
Yep.
And you help bring a national championship to Baton Rouge, and you consistently put together outstanding performances. So, shout out to Flau'jae Johnson.
Banger after banger.
Yeah, drop it, and you drop
with Little Wayne.
Right, you drop music. So there are the headlines and the two claps for this morning. We're gonna take an early break, a quick one, just to get the phone line set up so you guys can call in and we can start chopping it up as LSU and South Carolina will face off on Saturday, and also fall ball getting kicked off for baseball on Saturday. So if you want to talk football, baseball, basketball, life, whatever it is, call in. We will be right back after this.
Hey, Miss Lou, come visit us, Tom and Wright Granding at Go Martin on the Go Deli.
Go Mart has clean restrooms, community coffee, an awesome beer cave, and a great selection of anything you may need.
Located at the corner of Highland Boulevard and Highway 61 South in Natchez.
Also stop by Wardo's Po' Boys at 309 North Broadway on the beautiful Natchez Bluff.
Where everyone is family. Wardo's was created in honor of Alan Ward Granding III, fondly known by family and friends as Wardo. In 2019, the oldest brother of the tribe passed away unexpectedly. His remaining siblings and loved ones wanted to honor his memory in a special way. In 2022, Ward's family decided to combine the need for a sandwich shop in downtown Natchez with a desire to pay tribute to Ward's love of good friends, good times, and great food. Through blood, sweat, tears, and countless hours of hard work, Wardo's was born. So go visit Wardo's today at 309 North Broadway Street in Natchez, where the po' boys are so good, you'll swear you're in Cajun country. Hey, Miss Lou, come visit us, Tom and Wright Granding at Go Martin on the Go Deli.
Go Mart has clean restrooms, community coffee, an awesome beer cave, and a great selection of anything you may need.
Located at the corner of Highland Boulevard and Highway 61 South in Natchez.
Also stop by Wardo's Po' Boys at 309 North Broadway on the beautiful Natchez Bluff.
Where everyone is family.
When it comes to your home, the roof over your head matters. At CAS Roofing, we don't just install shingles, we build peace of mind. With years of experience and a commitment to craftsmanship, our team shows up on time, gets the job done right, and treats every project like it's our own home. Whether it's a repair, a replacement, or a storm damage that caught you off guard, CAS Roofing is ready. We're local, we're dependable, and we stand behind every nail, every shingle, and every promise we make. Because at the end of the day, it's not just about roofing, it's about protecting what matters most. CAS Roofing. Built on trust, backed by quality.
All right, welcome back here as we are going to roll through our number one. We have Jacques Doucet at 8:15 this morning. And until JD joins us, we're going to take your phone calls to talk a little LSU sports, life, whatever it is. But I would assume LSU football. Like I said, we're going to have a little skill position preview later on in hour number 2 this morning. But we want to get into the discussion preview in LSU-South Carolina with all of you. The number's 225-267-7191, 225-267-7191. Call in with a take, with a question, or even if you just want to have a little conversation. Call in. Let's talk it. Let's talk about it. LSU-South Carolina, 6:45 is a Saturday night in Death Valley. And I really just want to get the temperature because as I've gone through social media throughout the week, I've really had a hard time getting the true temperature of what people expect to happen Saturday night. Obviously, when you look at the betting line, I think a lot of people were surprised by the fact that the line was as high as it is. LSU favored by really 10 points. And when you think about a betting line, majority of the time, it's three or so points, 3.5 just for home field advantage, which means that LSU's favored by about a touchdown on a neutral site against South Carolina. So I was definitely taken aback by the point spread. But Brian Burgess, I expect an LSU win by 10 or more points. So Brian has LSU covering on Saturday. I am hard-pressed to think LSU wins by 10 or more points just because how many points is LSU going to score themselves. But I do have a good feeling about the Tigers in this game that they'll win it. I don't know how they're going to win it. I don't know what it's going to look like. Hopefully by the time we get to Friday and I watch a little more of South Carolina's film defensively, as we'll preview that tomorrow, I'll have a better understanding of the challenges the LSU offense will face. But up until then, I think LSU should win this football game. I just don't know exactly what it's going to look like.
Call your mom a lot.
You're looking through my call log?
I was just getting to say Brian.
As we're going to get ready to take your phone calls here on this Wednesday morning. 225-267-7191 is the number. Call in. Let's talk LSU. Let's get ready for Saturday night in Death Valley, LSU versus South Carolina. It's going to be a big-time game from LSU's perspective, like we talked about yesterday. We've got our first caller. Let's hear it. Hello.
Hold on, this could be me.
That's all right.
Oh, it does this every time.
That means you're prepared for it.
Yeah, give me 1 second.
No rush. Hold on for us, caller. Don't leave us yet. LSU-South Carolina, 6:45 Saturday night in Death Valley. I know Tom Granning's going to be out there. Shout out to Tommy G, Go Mart, and Wardo's out there in Natchez, Mississippi. He's going to be set up at the RV tailgating on Saturday. Me and Lloyd are just going to make our way around campus. Don't forget, we will be live post-game from Golf Suites. You can join us in person or tune in here on Tingle & Co. And then, obviously, Pizza Byron's on Sunday with Rohan Davey. We'll have Ro and Kev Saturday night, but just Ro at Pizza Byron's on Sunday recapping the game, as hopefully LSU will have got a victory against South Carolina. And we'll definitely dive into it more in about 35 minutes with Jacques Doucet, the sports director from WAFB 9. Are we good to go? Nope. We're still figuring it out. We're figuring out the technicalities of the phone lines.
It's just a new setup.
Yep. No, it's the new studio. We that's why it's good. We're trying it now to make sure we're prepared for what's in the future. But to talk about this game a little bit, when you look at LSU and South Carolina, really one thing that I've learned, and obviously we'll go more in depth and in detail into it later on this morning, is that they're kind of similar in some of their struggles. When I've looked at these two football teams, the main handicap of both teams is the front five. It's the offensive line. It's the fact that they struggle to get to the second level in the run game, which leads to the fact that these are the two worst rushing teams in the Southeastern Conference. And on top of that, they have not been able to get the balls to their playmakers as consistently due to the struggles offensively. I've written it down for both teams yesterday and today that they can be handicapped by the offensive line. And that can bring some positivity for LSU, but also a bit of concern in the fact that the South Carolina defensive front is very good, as is LSU's. So it's very interesting, the kind of comparisons between the two teams. And really the biggest thing for me when I'm looking at Saturday, these are two teams that are really trying to get it figured out, that can almost change the trajectory of where their season is currently sitting on Saturday. South Carolina, they've dropped 2 games. Vanderbilt, as Lenore Sellers gets hurt. Mizzou, his first game back, and he really wasn't fully allowed to be himself. And then you see that against Kentucky, and they win pretty handily over the Wildcats, as he was allowed to be. I think yesterday Lloyd said he had 14 carries in that football game, and you saw him fully unlocked since the injury. And so they're sitting at 3-2 right now, when they came into the season with some of the highest expectations in the Southeastern Conference. And they are still that talented of a football team, and they know that. And they also have revenge on their mind. This is a football game that was consistently discounted, and rightfully so, last season as LSU won it. LSU escaped Columbia 36-33 after a missed field goal by the South Carolina kicker when they drove down the field and put themselves in position in a game that Lenore Sellers did not finish. Robbie Ashford had to finish that football game. LSU had the breakout of Caden Durham in that game. But really, there were some key penalties and flags that a lot of people discounted LSU's performance because of. LSU goes down early 17-0, battles back, finds a way to win that football game. But there were a handful of key plays that were called back due to penalties that some people saw as questionable. The biggest one was the Garrett Nussmeier interception that would have been a pick six that's called back for the blindside block on Nuss. And so this is a game that when South Carolina is looking at it, both the fan base and the players thought that was a victory last night. And if they would have won, if they do not lose to LSU in 2024, South Carolina is likely in the college football playoff. So their season that could have been the dream season last year was kind of spoiled by LSU in a sense, even though they still lost games after the fact. they look at the LSU game as the one that they should have won. And so this is a game that's going to have a lot more around it than just two teams trying to get back on track. South Carolina's coming in looking for revenge, and they are a team that is hungry, that needs to win. And when you look at the next 5 games they have on their schedule, they're looking for where they can find wins. They are about to go through the gauntlet that is the SEC. It's no surprise to play the best teams week in and week out, because that's just what the Southeastern Conference schedule looks like. But after traveling to Baton Rouge, the next weekend they'll take on Oklahoma in Columbia. Oklahoma, obviously the number 6 team in the country. The weekend after that, Bama travels to South Carolina. So that's another top 10 team in town. And then the next weekend, so that this will be 4 straight weekends of top 11 teams. They'll go to LSU, home against OU, home against Bama, and then to Oxford to take on number 4 Ole Miss before they get a bye week prior to the matchup with number 5 Texas A&M. So they have the next 5 games in their schedule are top 11 teams.
And you saw Beamer. He's like, if you didn't want this, why'd you come
Right.
here? Which is, I think, the only appropriate response you can have whenever you're looking at whether it be the transfer portal or NIL or whatever you want to do, or even recruiting now. Same thing. You're having the same conversation of, I want to play against the best. I want to be in the SEC. It's
right.
Like, well, if that's what you wanted, this is what you're going to get. Because no team has an easy schedule in the SEC.
No.
It just is what it is. Once you got to parity in the league, where now Vanderbilt's good.
Right.
Like, there's no break. Like, who do you look to? Like, Missouri's good.
Right.
Like,
There's no break.
What, Kentucky might be the worst team in the SEC? I don't know.
Yeah, no, Kentucky would be. Because Mississippi State,
And they're not
obviously,
bad.
they're
They have
not a
great
slouch.
defense still.
Right. No,
Mississippi State, okay.
Arkansas, really, their offense is impressive. So, that is the Southeastern Conference schedule, but that also adds pressure for South Carolina looking at this weekend, coming off of a bye week, saying, we've got to find ways to win football games, especially when you take into account that they are 3-2, and 2 losses is right now kind of where the mark is. Of if you get more, you lose a third game, it's not as likely you make that 12-team playoff. And South Carolina is a team that had playoff aspirations coming into the year and likely still does. And so they obviously want to go through this stretch 5-0. That's extremely challenging, but you have to start off with the team you play on Saturday, and that's LSU. And so for both of these teams, they're playing to keep those hopes alive, but at the same time, they're also playing to change the narrative a little bit. They want to make the college football playoff, but as we've seen firsthand in Baton Rouge, LSU is not exactly, especially the fan base, isn't exactly looking at this as a college football playoff season. I think when Christian brought it up once or twice yesterday, a lot of the comments in the chat were, why are we talking about playoffs? Who's bringing up playoffs? Because that's what happens when you look the way you've looked, and South Carolina has had rough games. They've obviously dropped 2 of them. That can be attributed to an injured quarterback. And so now that he's back healthy, he's had the bye week, they're looking to get back in full swing and avenge those 2 losses now that they're healthy. LSU's in a similar spot where they're 4-1. They've only lost 1 game, and there's sections of the fan base that attribute that to a injured quarterback. Now you expect him to be a tad bit healthier going into Saturday, but the biggest thing is the fact that both of these teams want to get back in the conversation they feel they belong. They both, South Carolina and LSU, feel that they are college football playoff teams. They have college football playoff rosters and aspirations. They've just been knocked off that pedestal, that mark so far through 5 games. Both teams have. One team sitting at 3-2 and the other one at 4-1. Both teams are no longer in that conversation. But that can change on Saturday with a win, but also the way it looks. Like Chain Gang said in the chat, playoffs, ? The conversation has shifted. After week 1 for both of these teams, they're both top 10 programs. They're both thinking that the college football playoff is on the horizon. They're going to have a tough schedule, but if they can get through with just 2 losses, you think you get in with an SEC schedule, which I agree. But now, after 5 weeks, both teams coming off the bye week, the conversation has shifted. It's no longer two college football playoff aspiring teams that are in the mix. Neither team is in that conversation anymore, but both feel they deserve to be. And that, to me, adds to the pressure, the external pressure, to this game on Saturday. The external pressure is the fact that both of these teams had high expectations and have not met them through 5 weeks, and now is the time to make it happen. And this game is the game for both teams that it's been built up to be externally to turn the page and change the narrative, to get back into that conversation. But for LSU, the internal pressure is what's even bigger, which is where the conversation of is a win good enough comes in, because there's probably many people that don't feel like it is, that a win will not be enough. Just getting a W over South Carolina on Saturday isn't going to be enough. If you beat South Carolina the way you beat Florida, it's not going to please a lot of the fan base. It's got to look different, and that's where the internal pressure comes in, because there is so much going on in Baton Rouge. From a head coach standpoint, there's pressure there, obviously. Offensive coordinator, immense pressure. Quarterback, so much pressure. And it's just the soap opera that it's been, that we've talked about ad nauseum for the last, especially, week and a half, is going to be put on full display on Saturday. That is the situation that LSU is currently sitting in. The internal pressure outweighs that of the pressure brought on by external forces, whether it's talking heads or news stations or the national perspective. The internal pressure is much larger. The fan base, the pressure added by the LSU fan base is much larger than that added by national media from national perspectives.
And that's, I mean, would you say some of that was brought on by, I mean, if you're Brian Kelly, you brought it upon yourself, right?
Of course.
When you go out and crowdfund and say, hey, if you give $1 million, I'll give $1 million. Hey, we don't have the players. We need money. And then LSU and their contingency and LSU fans and the fan base has done their part. That's why now they feel the right to be able to get as upset as they want to be, or say it should look different, or have opinions on how the football team looks, or what you're doing with Garrett Nussmeier and having the same agent. You opened the doors to all these conversations once you talk about external pressure, you took external money. Like, if that's the game that you wanted to play, you bet on yourself. And by betting on yourself, you said, hey, what I need, why I can't win here is because for the first time ever, LSU doesn't have the players.
Right.
And why is that? I don't know. I feel like recruiting here has never been that much of an issue, but apparently it is. And then so you changed it. And so it's not about recruiting. It's about going out and paying for the best players you can go get. And you did that.
Right.
And so now what? And so once you open up that door, everybody feels like they got
skin in the game.
Yeah, they're very much entitled to their opinion. I donated.
Me as well. And that was already a position LSU fans have always been in. That they've been very
spoiled.
opinionated. Been very opinionated and having their voice needing to be heard. But now there's legitimate skin in the game. Like a lot of the fan base can sit back and look, no, I've got receipts. I've got the receipts of legitimate receipts of the money that I've sent in.
So does Brian Kelly.
To the Bayou Traditions. Right.
I believe.
Right. So that's
buddy.
Now with the fan base having those receipts, they're going to say, why? Like, because they didn't pay for just a better defense. If you want to look at it in specifics, yeah, they paid for A.J. Halsey and Marcus Cooley, who have been outstanding.
Bernard Gooden.
They paid for Bernard Gooden and Patrick Payton, who have been outstanding.
Mansour Delane.
I mean, go down the list. They paid for all those people. They've been out. What the fan base paid for is a national championship, more than anything else. They paid for a national championship. And as of right now, what's been put on the field is not. It's been abundantly clear you are not a national championship team. And that's what the fan base is expecting, because that's what they paid for. That's what they went out there and made happen. And in addition to that, to take it down a level, it's not just a national championship. You're not putting out a playoff team, as you can see from the chat. The playoffs with question marks next to it. You're not putting a college football playoff caliber team on the football field through 5 weeks. And that is what the fan base paid for. That is what the fan base was expecting because they paid for it. They put their own stock, their own money, their own skin in the game for at least a playoff berth. And the team they've seen through 5 weeks isn't good enough to do that. And that is what adds to the internal pressure of Saturday, is because now they're looking to see a team that's good enough to do that, or the shades of a team good enough to do that. The steps in a direction to be good enough to do that. And I'm very interested to ask the chat, what are the things, the steps you would like to see on Saturday that make you feel like they are moving in the right direction?
I mean, I feel like just from a very vanilla look at it, I think it's just you're just waiting on an offense. You're waiting for your quarterback to. That's why I never thought there would be a world in which we're sitting here in week 5, 6.
I mean, this is good. We're week 7.
Week 7?
Played 5 games, bye week in week 6, week 7.
I mean, we're pretty far down the road.
Right.
And I never thought we would be here going, did you take out your quarterback? Week 7, he's on the back end of it. He's been on the back end for 3 weeks.
Yeah, it was week 4. After the week of week 4, it was when the back end began.
And I still contend that you will see a better Garrett Nussmeier this weekend.
Right.
He's had the time to be able to heal whatever his wounds were, but these can clearly get re-aggravated during game time.
Of course.
And so I don't know if you'll have we'll be playing this carrot and stick game for all year.
Yeah, no, I mean, we've said it, pretty consistently that he's never going to be 100%.
But I think people are going to, if he looks the way that old Nuss looks.
If he looks like Southeastern.
Yeah, it's the same thing. And that's what I think that's part of the frustration, is because it's this seesaw battle of going back and forth between, well, he looks like this, and now he's inconsistent. Now it's the player, not the injury. And I'd have never once contended that Garrett Nussmeier, the player, is somebody that can't be the starting quarterback at LSU.
Right. Right. And so I think that's obviously the first thing that wants to be seen on Saturday is a quarterback that looks healthy. And that's the thing. It's the same both ways. South Carolina's looking to see the same exact thing. They're looking to see a quarterback that is fully healthy in Lenore Sellers. That's what LSU's hoping to see. That's the first box you want to see checked, is a quarterback that's healthy in Garrett Nussmeier, a quarterback that looks like himself. After that, it's a consistent rushing attack, at least trying to create some sort of balance offensively. We know it's not going to be 50-50. We should all go ahead and just accept that. LSU will not be a 50-50 offense. 60-40 is a possibility. You're trying to get away from what would you call against Ole Miss? 80-20, 70-30, pass rush? I don't know what the number said specifically, but just from watching it, it felt like 80% pass, 20% run until the last drive when you saw those numbers spike up with the handoffs to Harlan Berry. And so that's another thing you want to see. You just want to see shades of LSU moving in the right direction. There aren't going to be many things that are solved come Saturday. So let's just make sure we understand that. The issues are not going to be resolved and solved on Saturday. LSU is not going to show up and look light years better than they have all year just because there was an open weekend. But they can look healthier, whether that's Garrett Nussmeier's health, Caden Durham's health, Aaron Anderson's health, West Weeks, Witt Weeks, these guys on the defense that are banged up.
I mean, it's amazing you got to 22 carries.
I know, and and all the Harlem Berries were on in the second half. What was he got 7 carries? So you're up 15. But I mean, at the you take it. I mean, Xavier Thomas had 4, Barryon Brown 1. So I mean, like running back wise, you didn't really try to instill it, and so that's obviously something you want to see. I think health is number one. After that, you want to see an offensive balance. But I saw in watching some of South Carolina's film and watching them play, they are not afraid to get into tempo. They did it early on against Vanderbilt where a little quarterback play action roll out. He throws to the tight end. They're right back on the football, 2 handoffs to Faison. And so with that, they also watched film on LSU and probably saw the struggles the LSU defense had against tempo. So they're going to come in with a game plan to keep LSU rolling and moving, and I'm not really that concerned about the defense, but that puts pressure on your offense.
This first half is deplorable.
LSU, Ole Miss?
Yes. Start the game, 3 plays, 4 yards, a minute 15. Garrett Nussmeier passing complete to Bauer Sharp. Xavier Thomas, 4-yard run. Garrett Nussmeier passing complete to Aaron Anderson. Broken up by Sage Ryan.
Yep.
Punt. Touchdown. 50-yard pass to Xavier Thomas. I feel like I don't even remember that. Garrett Nussmeier to Aaron Anderson for 7. Garrett Nussmeier to Barryon Brown for 4. Jawan Johnson -1. Then you have the tipped pass from Trades to Nick Anderson for a 7-yard touchdown. Then you have the debacle at the defensive offsides. Go for it, don't go for it. Go for it, don't go for it. Kick it. 7 points.
Right.
5 plays, 46 yards. 7-yard pass, negative 2-yard run. 2-yard penalty on the 3rd and 5.
Mm-hmm.
On a pass interference. Then you have a pass complete to Chris Hilton.
Yeah, it was a comeback.
Mm-hmm. And then you get the penalty.
And then the touchdown itself was a little bit of luck involved in the fact that the execution wasn't up to par, and your tight end played basketball, tip rebound to your 6'4" guy right there. And so.
And your defense.
They did everything they could.
I mean, it's 7-3. You throw the interception, you get another punt from Ole Miss.
Right.
LSU goes 3 plays, 5 yards, 1 minute and 30 seconds, incomplete, 4-yard run, 1-yard run, punt. Then you force the fumble on Ole Miss, get the ball back, 3 plays, 0 yards, a minute and 11 comes off the clock.
And that to me.
Trades Green hold, incomplete, 10-yard run on 3rd and 20, punt.
That to me is one of the biggest aspects moving forward. As much as I want to see them run against 3-man fronts, like Andrew Messina said, because Braylon Moore said it last night, that teams are going to consistently do that until LSU says, hey, we're going to run the football. You can no longer drop 8. You got to stay on the field for more than a minute and 11 and a minute and 30 seconds after your defense is playing out of their mind, getting a Lane Kiffin offense off the field. Now, you're not playing Lane Kiffin again, but if your defense is going out there and getting these offenses off the field the way they are, getting off the field on 3rd down, causing problems, wreaking havoc, whatever, forcing turnovers. What happened after the fumble? What was it? Did you say 3 plays, 0 yards, a minute 30?
After you force
the fumble, after AJ Halsey punches it out,
3 plays, 0 yards, a minute and 11 seconds comes off the clock. You punt. The Ole Miss 30.
That is what cannot happen.
And then Ole Miss goes 5 plays, 70 yards in a minute and 40 seconds, scores a touchdown.
Because your defense gave you everything they could. A.J. Halsey made the play, punched the football out going into the end zone on a play that could have been a touchdown or at least would have set up a touchdown.
Right.
He punches the football out. Your offense gets back on the field, 3 plays, 0 yards, a minute and 11 seconds. Guess what? A.J., I appreciate what you did. Put that helmet back on. You got to get back on the football field.
And then you give up a touchdown. And then you go.
And I can't blame the defense for that.
Not at all.
For giving up
you can't give Lane this many chances.
And so.
And then you get the ball back and you go 4 plays, 18 yards, and chew up 2 minutes and 53 seconds with a 12-yard pass, a 1-yard run, a 5-yard pass, a 0-yard pass, and a punt. Ole Miss gets the ball back, 9 plays, 70 yards. in 2 minutes and 3 seconds to end the half. Scores a touchdown.
And, yeah, I mean, if you highlight that touchdown at the end of that drive, it was the unbalanced out route on the wide side of the field, and it was a bad call defensively, but you gave the Ole Miss offense momentum and the football back like that. And so when you're looking at Saturday, those are the things that cannot continue to be who you are. If you get Lenore Sellers in this offense that isn't overly impressive, and we're going to dive into some of the players they have on that side of the ball later on this morning, if you get them off the field, especially if you're forcing a turnover, especially if you're doing it the way LSU did it at the start of that football game, where it was multiple drives LSU's getting stops. And so you've got, if A.J. Halsey is punching the football out before they get in the end zone, when you saw Ole Miss getting a little bit of momentum and your defense maybe taking a step back because they're a little tired, A.J. Halsey gave you everything you got, punched that football out to get you the ball back and to save your tail once again. And offensively, the way you repaid him and repaid that group is by going 3 plays, 0 yards, a minute and 11. What can't happen this Saturday is that. That is the second thing I want to see fixed. And I know there are pieces that go into that, whether it's the run game and trying to run some clock or, doing different things offensively, scheme and play sequencing and all those things. They all play a factor. I'm just going to group them all up. What you've got to see is sustained drives and putting your defense in a position to find success, rather than giving them a minute breather after they just laid it all out on the line for you to save your tail. So on Saturday.
And then you do it again. You go 4 plays, 18 yards.
And so on Saturday against South Carolina.
That's where you have to be able to run the football.
And so if I'm turning away, like Carl says, we moving on to South Carolina, Ole Miss should be in the rearview mirror. Of course it is. The problems Ole Miss brought to the forefront are not in the rearview mirror. They're right here because that's what you're looking at on Saturday. So if I'm looking forward to South Carolina, those issues, those things cannot be a regular occurrence. If your defense is playing the way you expect them to play and do what they're doing, repay them. Whether that's running the football, finding a way to be effective in the run, the extension of the run game, that touchdown drive Lloyd talked about against Ole Miss after the big Xavion catch, those 2 plays to Aaron Anderson and Barryon Brown were screens. It was a little swing pass screen where your wide receivers, who are excellent blocking, made the play happen. 7-6 yards at 13 yards. That would be a first down. Those plays. Do something. Get your defense some air. This defense is going to win you games if you play into their hands. And that was the position that LSU had been in earlier in the season. That was the conversation. Well, this is a team that just plays, the offense plays into the defense's hand. This is a team that's going to play to their strength, and the strength is the defense. This team on this past 2 Saturdays ago against Ole Miss didn't play into their defense's hands. They played the game away from their defense. That can't be the case on Saturday, because that defense is going to give you everything they got. And they've got a tall task with number 16 for South Carolina. And some of these other guys I've listed out as well, but really 16 is the one. This is the first time this season that LSU is going into a game that I don't feel they have the better quarterback. As good as I thought Chambliss was, I still thought Garrett Nussmeier was the better quarterback going into that game because of what you had just seen against Southeastern. They're going into a game on Saturday where I don't think they have the better quarterback. And that's not specifically a player thing that I think it's just Garrett Nussmeier's not a good player, this, that, the other. I think they have an offense that fits their quarterback, and they have an identity. They know who they are, and it allows for Lenore Sellers to be extremely successful. I think this defense is going to cause problems for him. I think that the crowd can cause issues for him. He's never played in Death Valley on a Saturday night before. You saw what it did to DJ Lagway. Lenore Sellers plays considerably better at home than on the road. But you have got, on offense, to give your defense a break if they get 16 off the field. If they get the South Carolina offense led by Mike Shula off the football field, if they get Lenore Sellers off the football field, don't give them a 1:11 breather the way you did against Trinidad Chambliss and Ole Miss. That is, to me, one of the biggest things looking at Saturday that I want to see is, if that's going to be who you are, you're going to play into the strength of your team, which is your defense, do it. Because the last time we saw you on the field, you didn't. Whatsoever. There was no flipping the field and playing field position. There was no allowing your defense to catch their breath. It was just absolutely abysmal and pitiful on the offensive side of the ball that you couldn't even play into your defense's hands. You couldn't give them the opportunity to catch their breath. You couldn't get 3 points off of a couple of their turnovers. This Saturday in Death Valley, I'm not expecting LSU to go out there and score 38 points. I'm not expecting LSU to go out there and score 30 points. But I'd like sustained drives where your defense is allowed to be fresh. And when Harold Perkins plays 90 plays in a football game, he gets more than 1:11 between drives to catch his breath. I don't think this offense is ever going to be 2019, 2023. I don't even know if it'll be 2024, ever.
I don't know if it'll be 2013.
But it should be able to be good enough to play into the hands of your defense, because that's where you sit right now. That's what you have to be. You have to be good enough to give those guys a breather. When they get you the football back, put a drive together. Even if it doesn't end in points, put a 5-minute drive together. Allow them a second and a couple of TV timeouts to catch their breath, to scheme, to analyze what happened the last time they were out there, and be effective and win you the game, because they can. They are that good. Blake Baker is that good. They can win you the football game. But you can't handcuff them. And the last time I saw them play, the LSU offense beat the LSU defense.
Yeah.
And that's not to discount what Ole Miss did. They had a great game plan. They went out there and they executed. What hurt this LSU defense more than anything else was the LSU offense. And that I cannot sit and watch again. Seville, offense, give our defense a 2-score head start. Well, I'd love to be ahead in the game. 2 scores would be awesome. That's why I was so excited when LSU went up 7-0 against Ole Miss. Because, okay, the defense is playing with a lead. Fonz, Noah, what uses more clock, a failed run play or a failed pass play? More than likely it would be a failed run play. No, I agree. That is something that has to happen. The play sequencing, the focus on the run game, all of those things play into the conversation I'm currently having, where after health, the second thing I'm looking at on Saturday is, can you take care of your defense? Can you give them a break? Can you not put the weight of the world on Blake Baker's shoulders every single weekend? Don't forget, every single day we are brought to you by AJ Sports Cards right there on Drusilla Lane. AJ's Sports Cards, 3348 Drusilla Lane is the address here in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. On Facebook, it's AJ Sports Cards. Give them a follow. They're almost to 2,000 followers, so hop on there. and give them a follow on Facebook and on Instagram at AJ Sports Cards 225BR on IG. Stay up to date with everything they've got going on. I know they have a very special event in December at the Elite Football Academy, I believe, where you will have that's right there on Burbank, 5414 Burbank Drive. It's the Baton Rouge Card Fest, AJ Sports Cards and Primetime Sports, Saturday, December 13th, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. They'll have sports cards, Pokemon cards, LSU player autographs, kids trading era. There will be 150-plus tables to buy, sell, and trade. It's $5 admission. Kids 12 and under will be free. And if you are a vendor and want to be a part of this, there are still some spots left. So contact AJ Sports Cards for vendor info. And we appreciate what they mean to us. AJ Sports Cards right there on Drusilla Lane. We will take a quick break here. We've rolled into hour number 2 this morning. We'll be right back after this.
Located at the corner of Highland Boulevard and Highway 61 South in Natchez.
Also stop by Wardo's Po' Boys at 309 North Broadway on the beautiful Natchez Bluff.
Where everyone is family.
When it comes to your home, the roof over your head matters. At CAS Roofing, we don't just install shingles, we build peace of mind. With years of experience and a commitment to craftsmanship, our team shows up on time, gets the job done right, and treats every project like it's our own home. Whether it's a repair, a replacement, or a storm damage that caught you off guard, CAS Roofing is ready. We're local, we're dependable, and we stand behind every nail, every shingle, and every promise we make. Because at the end of the day, it's not just about roofing, it's about protecting what matters most. CAS Roofing. Built on trust, backed by quality.
Wardo's was created in honor of Alan Ward Granning III, fondly known by family and friends as Wardo. In 2019, the oldest brother of the tribe passed away unexpectedly. His remaining siblings and loved ones wanted to honor his memory in a special way. In 2022, Ward's family decided to combine the need for a sandwich shop in downtown Natchez with a desire to pay tribute to Ward's love of good friends, good times, and great food. Through blood, sweat, tears, and countless hours of hard work, Wardo's was born. So go visit Wardo's today at 309 North Broadway Street in Natchez, where the po' boys are so good, you'll swear you're in Cajun country.
All right, welcome back here as we are rolling into hour number 2 here on this Wednesday morning. Getting ready for LSU-South Carolina this Saturday in Death Valley. And to help preview that, we are joined by the best in the business, the sports director from WAFB 9, Jacques Doucet, joins us. JD, good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Hey, Noah, good morning. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing well. How are you?
Oh, not too shabby. Standing outside the Spectrum at South Downs Health Club, trying to get a little workout in this morning, and looking forward to another big weekend of college football after a bye week for both LSU and Southern, and the Saints finally breaking into the win column on Sunday. We got another big weekend ahead coming up.
What's the workout routine, JD? I'm always interested. You're there a lot. You look great. I'm just wondering what you're doing. Is it a big run day? Or?
Great I look. I on Monday, I typically try to do chest, Jordy.
Jordy?
Noah and Lloyd, excuse me. I need more caffeine this morning. I do chest on Monday. I do back and buys another day. I do shoulders another day. I've really let the legs go in recent years. It's just I started having back problems because I was squatting incorrectly. So I don't think I'm ever going to look like the guy who, is huge, got this huge upper body and these little skinny legs, but I've let the legs go a little bit. So I tell you what, when you get older, you think walking is like wimpy and stuff, but really, I do a lot of walking now. So, I think you can walk at 4 miles an hour, and I think I only quote-unquote jog at 6. So there's not a huge difference. So walking is good for you too. And it's simple, Lloyd. Just walk outside. Just go in circles.
It's like the LSU offense, but 1 foot in front of the other.
Yeah, something like that. I don't see any 3-man fronts or anything. I do see some dogs and stuff, but it's I'm still waiting for that first cool breeze of fall to start blowing through. I think we got a little something coming in this week that'll make the nights and the mornings feel a little bit better. So here we are getting deeper into October. Still waiting for the pumpkin spice latte and the sweaters, the sweatshirts and everything. Hadn't happened yet.
Well, JD, before we get into this weekend, I want to ask you about this past weekend. Obviously, it was the bye week for LSU. But watching some of the other games, if you were able to catch any of them, Alabama, Vanderbilt, Georgia, Kentucky, just any of those other games that were played, did you feel better or worse about where LSU currently stands after this past weekend?
Well, I think it just reiterates that college football has more parity than ever before. Discussion, I did a little chat with Alyssa Lane from SEC Network yesterday, and she kind of reiterated that point. Once you start comparing scores and thinking you got it all figured out, you don't. Texas played a competitive game at Ohio State to start the year, lost it and kind of played a soft schedule. But then Florida, I think, had been written off by a lot of people. Texas goes to Florida and gets beat pretty soundly. Florida has been pretty good in terms of the last couple of years, upsetting some highly ranked teams at home, or some teams that they were underdog to. Did it at the end of last year to LSU and Ole Miss. Now they got Texas. I thought that Vanderbilt certainly had a chance, to win the game, but Diego Pavia had some very, costly turnovers inside the Alabama 20-yard line. They were right there to score a lot more points than what they did. Let's see, who else did we watch? We watched Miami was pretty dominant in their win over Florida State. Florida State obviously opening the year with a pretty easy win over Alabama at home, and then getting ambushed by Virginia last week and now losing to Miami. So I guess it just reiterates that scores are all over the board, and that there's a lot of parity, and there's no dynamite powerhouse teams, and then there's a lot less teams that are bad in terms of like the old Vanderbilts and whatnot. I think you look at Arkansas, they're struggling pretty badly. Kentucky's got a struggling outfit, but I don't know how much it changed in my perspective on everything in terms of LSU. I think LSU hopefully took a good hard look at themselves, scouted some things out. I don't know how much better they can be on the offensive line in terms of running the football and how much Garrett Nussmeier can throw the ball down the field a little bit better and utilize these weapons. What does Chris Hilton have? 4 catches, 30 yards all year long so far. Darian Brown has been utilized to an extent, but not the way that I think they thought they would. Trey Green with an injury. That's a long answer for what I saw in college football this past weekend, but it was good to watch some games and not run around on a Saturday. So made the trip to Orange Beach and spent a couple of days there, and so it was nice.
How does it still feel refreshing to you to be able to do that? Because sometimes I guess you could say we're in the industry, you work a lot harder than we do, but being able to sit back and not really have an LSU football game and kind of take in the perspective of everyone else in college football and go, maybe LSU isn't as bad as everybody thinks in terms when you're in this microscope that we put LSU under.
Yeah, I think that we're learning that more and more. I know we always reference 2011 when LSU and Alabama played each other twice, and you take a look at the third stringers on those teams and see guys like Ron Brooks and some others that played multiple years in the NFL, and these days that's just that's just not happening. Guys are going to transfer to go play somewhere else. They're going to go get paid somewhere else. Your NIL and transfer portal has changed all of that in terms of, looking back at 2019, how would LSU ever be able to afford Joe Burrow at quarterback, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, your wide receivers, Terrence Marshall was a high draft pick as well. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, your defensive guys. Patrick Queen had a stadium named after him last week that I went and attended. Derek Stingley as a freshman doing what he did. I mean, I don't know if you're ever be able to piece those kind of teams together again. Maybe it'll swing back. But, I think once again you see that there is no Miami 2001, none of these powerhouse teams. I think everyone's got their warts and flaws. And LSU's 4-1. Obviously, fans are very disappointed by the way they played at Ole Miss. That was a very frustrating game to watch. It was there for the taking. The offense did not do their part. And, so I think some fans feel like for what the coaching staff is being paid, being compensated, and what the roster is being compensated, they expect a better product from what they saw at Ole Miss. And certainly Braylon Moore in the interviews last night said, as long as we can't run the football, opposing teams are going to flood the secondary with 8 defenders. They're going to make things crowded back there. They're going to make it very difficult for Garrett to throw the football and get it to our playmakers. And so we've got to be able to, get something on the ground. I mean, if you would have told me before the year that Caleb Jackson would have, I think he's got 7 carries on the year. If you tell me Caleb Jackson's got 7 carries through the first 5 games, I'm not sure I would have believed that. Or he did 7 against like Southeastern on his own. In just that one game. So, Caden Durham will be back. What does that mean for the rushing attack? Can they get it going? Can they create something new? And I get it, getting away from the run. I mean, LSU definitely passes the ball better than they run it. But you hear football guys say, well, they only turned around and handed the ball to running back twice in the whole first half at Ole Miss. So, yes, there's something to be said about keeping teams honest. And Garrett's got to improve his decision making. He's made some passes that he made, back in 2021 when he was kind of a gunslinging freshman to run around and beat Johnny Manziel, Brett Favre. He needs to make better decisions. That was a very costly interception at Ole Miss when LSU had a chance to go up 14-3 or 10-3, kind of dictate the tempo of game to throw that ball into double, triple coverage was a bad move. So LSU at home this weekend. This is a must-win. Do not lose to South Carolina at home with a trip to Vanderbilt, home game against Texas A&M, trip to Alabama on the horizon. This is a game you're favored to win by 9, 10 points, and you absolutely must do so.
We talked a lot before the year about the, I guess you could say, the vibes of the LSU football team were very high. Everybody seemed to be coming together. And we put some stock into that because I feel like it was led by Nussmeier and everybody was kumbaya and coming together, and felt like the chemistry was immaculate coming from transfer portal and then putting it all together. After interviewing the players yesterday, does it still feel like they're very much intact, or is the foundation starting to leak a little bit?
No, I was pretty impressed with the guys they brought to the interviews yesterday. I mean, off the top of my head, Braylon Moore and A.J. Halsey are 2 veteran players, very mature, have seen a lot of football. And, I was very impressed with their answers and their leadership. I think these days more than ever, it's hard to avoid players from starting to start breathing in and eating the toxic stuff with these social media platforms and places where negativity really brews, to stay away from that stuff, to stay away from the people in their ear telling them what the coaches should and shouldn't be doing, who should play, who shouldn't. I think, I was thinking about it. Garrett Nussmeier is a lot like Drew Brees in the fact that now we have a college football free agency season. And I remember a lot of these guys that LSU signed in the offseason, both offensive and defensive players, saying a big reason they came to LSU was that Garrett Nussmeier was the quarterback, and they felt like LSU was pretty set at the most important position on the field. You used to hear that all the time during the Drew Brees era. Free agents would sign with the Saints because they said, okay, the quarterback's in place and we can go. And so the fact that he's only thrown 7 touchdowns through the first 5 games, his numbers are way down. It seemed like a cinch he was going to pass Tommy Hudson become the program's all-time leading passer over 9,000 yards, but I think that's in doubt at the moment at least. And so that has been what we did not see. I think that did not foresee. I think that after he threw for 4,000 yards, he wouldn't get worse, he would get better. And whether it's a injury, whatever the case may be, the productivity in the passing game has not been what I think anybody would expect, especially considering who they added to the room in terms of catching the football and whatnot. And I don't think the pass protection has been horrific. They only give up 1 sack against Ole Miss or something like that. It wasn't a ton. But South Carolina, I think, sacked Kentucky 6 times last time they played a game, and so LSU's definitely got to protect Garrett and see what they can do here, and just see if he can throw the ball down the field. You've heard different things. Is he hurt? Is he not? It's a mental thing. It's a physical thing. Only Garrett Nussmeier can really answer that question, and we'll see if we haven't talked to him since the Ole Miss game, after the game in Oxford. So we'll see if they bring him on Saturday night after the game and how he plays and what does he have to say.
And that's kind of what I wanted to ask you about, is that the entire situation throughout the season and kind of how it's played out. I know we've talked about it a little bit, but it just feels almost like a television show, like a soap opera, where it's just this, no one really knows what is exactly going on. There's not really anything being said transparently. It all feels very vague and confusing. What are your thoughts on the situation, and maybe and if you can think of any situation similar to this, LSU or not, where there was just it was so vague and so much confusion around a situation like this?
Yeah, I'm not trying to be melodramatic and sensational. It's strange.
Right.
It's strange that, first of all, the information of the injury was volunteered by the head coach after the Florida game without anybody really asking. I mean, I think it was my question. I asked about Garrett Nussmeier's mechanics and if he was doing some things wrong. I heard Rohan talking about, Garrett needing to anchor his base in the pocket, throwing off his back foot and doing some of those things. And then that's when Kelly said, well, what you guys need to know, he's been dealing with a torso injury and blah, blah, blah. And so we had, known about whatever was going on with the knee at the beginning of August, but that just kind of went by the wayside. The first time we were out to practice after that reported knee injury, Garrett's running around left and right, dropping back in the pocket. Doesn't look much different to me. So that the knee thing was nothing, and now you've got this torso thing. Garrett, after the game, says after the Ole Miss game, says I'm not going to answer any questions about my health and whatnot. Kelly then says after the game, the Ole Miss game, that Garrett's healthy. He reiterates he's healthy, but then LSU shuts him down and doesn't throw during the entire bye week. So, it's confusing. It's not clear. You hear different rumors. People ask, does he have a sports hernia? Does he have an ab thing? Does he have nothing at all? I can't really answer. I mean, I see what I see on the field. I see Garrett Nussmeier badly underthrow Barry and Brown against Louisiana Tech, a ball that gets batted into the air and intercepted. I see Garrett Nussmeier badly underthrow Chris Hilton at Ole Miss in the second half, a throw he usually makes or overthrows. So all I can go by is what I see, and Garrett is still adequate. I mean, it's not like they're throwing for 50 yards, but he's not utilizing the weapons like we certainly thought he would, and the running game hasn't helped. It's been a collection of problems. Some people talk about the play calling. Joe Sloan could maybe say, what do you want me to call? I got an offensive line that can't block. I got 5 guys that can't block 3. We can't run the ball. So it's there's a lot going on there that hopefully they can fix, because the defense obviously is a championship caliber defense. You feel good about taking them on the road to Tuscaloosa, into Vanderbilt, into other places, Oklahoma, where they always say defense travels, and sometimes your offense takes a little bit to settle in with opposing crowds and this and that. I mean, they've got dudes. I mean, that secondary's got some big guys back there that hit and are veteran guys, and it's a defense that is going to do very well. It only gave up 24 points on the road to Lane Kiffin, so got to score some points.
And so looking forward to this weekend, outside of health, obviously, which is of the utmost importance and huge coming out of a bye week, what do you want to see specifically against South Carolina? Because in my opinion, it almost feels like there's like a win, just a win wouldn't be enough at this point for the fan base specifically, that when you look at where LSU currently is, if they win the same way they won against Tech or against Florida, that wouldn't really please the fan base in the same way, that there would probably still be some upset people. What would you like to see on Saturday against the Gamecocks?
Well, first off, it'd be nice if they don't go 3-and-out to start the game offensively.
Those boos will probably echo if that happens.
Jacques, that place will turn into the actual Coliseum.
Yeah, I mean, just think about it, guys. Okay, LSU's at home, bye week. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, here come your Fighting Tigers of LSU. Team runs on the field, everyone fired up, everyone looking up. LSU comes out, hand off to Caden Durham, 1 yard. Nussmeier, that ball deflected at the line, incomplete, 3rd and 9. Nussmeier, 4-yard pass. Here comes the punting team. That is not what they need to do on Saturday. I mean, they need to get the fans into the game. They need to get them excited. They need to move the football down the field. They need to, I think they need to run the ball. It'd be nice to run the ball for 120 yards and throw it for 250 or more, get around 400 yards of offense, score 30 points. Defense, I don't think many people are worried too much about the defense. I think there is still a kind of a question of how well can we defend dual threat quarterback, and Lenore Sellers, obviously a much different LSU defense in Columbia, but he was having his way with LSU a year ago before he had to leave the game. And I think the team that wins the game is the team that wins the game. But LSU was very fortunate to win that game in Columbia a year ago. If you remember, Garrett Nussmeier throws the interception. Carolina's returning it for a pick 6 and an 11-point lead with 4 minutes left, and the game's probably over. Carolina decides to cheap shot Garrett Nussmeier, and then the play comes back, and LSU gets the game-winning score, and Carolina misses the field goal with the gun to tie the game. So I think defending a dual threat quarterback, Lenore Sellers, and holding him down. But obviously all the questions are going to be around the offense. And if you Garrett Nussmeier and company, how do you play loose and go out there and, kind of try to have some fun and not be too tense, knowing that, all eyes are on you to move the football and to do some things. But to answer your question, I think it's been well documented that pretty much every LSU series outside of maybe the Clemson game to start, they've gone 3-and-out pretty much the entire season. They have not established any kind of flow or gotten fans in the game. I mean, the Southeastern game, they scored 56 points and looked good, but that opening series was terrible against Southeastern offensively. So, yeah, I think that's those are a few thoughts on that. Of course, it's a new era in Tiger Stadium, and I'm not insulting anybody or calling out fans or whatever. It's just the way it is now. I mean, I remember going to Tiger Stadium in the 80s and 90s, and people didn't leave games, and now they do. Even if the game's close at halftime, a lot of people decide to go and watch the game at a tailgate or at their house or beat traffic or whatever the case may be. So we'll see if Tiger Stadium can come alive and stay alive for a long time.
And that'll be an interesting aspect of this, because you can always kind of hang your hat on LSU and the fan base being there, but it does feel like there's almost 1 foot out the door. And with that being said, do you think that – I was asked this question yesterday by – people that watch LSU, they're like, what do you think is up with Nuss? And it led to a conversation that I wasn't expecting to have, was like, do you think he's okay mentally? Like, are you starting to see any of that strain on him? I know you've only talked to him after the Ole Miss game, which is probably the lowest he's felt. But do you see any of that where there's really not that much joy in doing this, and what did I come back for?
Yeah, I mean, Brian Kelly last week, didn't he use the word mental week more than once? Like, this is a mental week for our team, mental week for Garrett.
You make it an adverb, it's a totally different statement.
Yeah, I've heard people say, does he have a case of kind of what Jarrett Lee went through at times and whatnot? I mean, Jarrett Lee threw a lot of interceptions. Nelson's thrown some. Is depressing. Hopefully it's a case, Drew Brees used to use the term called break the seal. Sometimes it'd take them a while to get the first down. And when they would, things would start rolling. And maybe for Garrett, it's a case of hitting that first big pass down the field and everything starts flowing after that. But he is and you got to think about the pressure too. I mean,
yes.
If he goes pro and he is a mid-first round draft pick or a late first round draft pick and he's on an NFL roster, now to come back, when you do come back, what does that mean? That means NIL money. That means, I saw Garrett enough money at least 2 or 3 times driving to the gym this morning on billboards in different places. You're the face of the team now. You are a pro, and it's one of ththose things too where it's like, if we're not playing as well as we'd like, or we're not scoring points, and I'm plastered everywhere, and I'm on, I'm in the takeout line of Raising Cane's with Arch Manning and the Mannings. People get sick of seeing that stuff if you're not doing as well as fans would like. So it just kind of creates an overall atmosphere that can be unpleasant at times. But it's like sometimes, you go to a baseball game and. You know how sometimes they play those goofy skits on the scoreboard, and it's like, what's your favorite movie? And it's the LSU players or whatever. Yeah. I think they got a better they got a better sense of when and when not to play those things. I think one time LSU's getting their butts kicked in a game before Jay Johnson, like 10-1 or something. They play one of those skits up there, and nobody wants to see that. Nobody wants to laugh. I think it's the same thing with these commercials and these NIL deals. When the team's doing well, they smile and say, hey, that's great. But when you lose to Ole Miss and don't score enough points, I think that adds to the pressure of being the quarterback at LSU, which...
Get your ass on the field and quit doing commercials.
Exactly, right. I mean, it goes to the coaches, too. I mean, a little bit before your time, but, Jared DiNardo, his first 3 years, he was coming off 6 straight losing seasons, and they start winning, and he decides to open a restaurant called DiNardo's, and then... he's in these truck commercials where he's singing, I love my truck. He loves that truck. It's a Ford for me. He loves that truck. And he's riding around in his Ford truck, and he's all these commercials all the time. And then they go, they went 4-7 and 3-8, and he's out, and that's the end. So it is just getting to be it's just getting to be too much. It's just so much money invested in the coach, so much money invested in the coordinators, so much money invested in the roster. It is just so money, and I realize money drives the world and all that, but it's drifted and gotten so far away from my childhood innocence and Tommy Hodson throwing a pass to Eddie Fuller in the back of the end zone to make the earthquake. It is so much different than it was back then. And the days of, I hope we win 8-9 games and go to a nice bowl game. And bowl games suck. We're not going. Everything is just the intensity and just the overall feel of things is so different than it was in the past. And that sounds old, managed, and fine, but you just have so much money invested. And then they're going to be, if it rolls around in January and they're not where they want to be, and they're going to the Gator Bowl or something like that, and they say, and LSU has to tell people, all right, time to pony up for the next roster, time to pay the 2026 Tigers. How many people do that? We are not a rich state, right? I mean, we know that. We know that when the Charlotte Hornets came and became the New Orleans Hornets. We heard about how there's not a whole lot of money in the state. How can they support an NBA team? And they're still here, but it's we don't have many Fortune 500 companies in Louisiana, sure.
And JD, I'll close out with this question. LSU baseball fall ball gets kicked off this weekend, and they have one of the scrimmages on Sunday at 1:30. Do you think that crowd is bigger on Sunday after a win, LSU football win on Saturday, or a loss on Saturday in Alec Box?
Ooh, good question. Meaning, like, LSU loses and I need something to take my mind off it.
I want to see a winner, damn it.
So I go watch the team that's won 2 national championships in 3 years, and I look at Jay Johnson and I say, there's a coach right there. There's a guy that I can get behind. I think that I'll go with an LSU loss. I think the weather should be nice. People are going to want to get outside. I don't know how many people are, even after the Saints won, are going to be inside watching the Saints and Patriots. So I think if LSU loses, you'll have a bigger crowd. Of course, we'll never know the answer to that. I think John Eads is actually at Alec Box right now. No, I'm kidding.
I wouldn't be surprised.
He's gonna be hitting all the scrimmages reports, and video, and all that. I mean, does an amazing job, and certainly it paid off last year. I mean, John covered all that stuff religiously and worked extremely hard, and that's the groundwork you lay way back in October for a team that finishes almost near the 4th of July. So it'll be, it's exciting stuff. They'll be playing in Biloxi again for an exhibition. 3 7-inning games on a Sunday. I think it's in November or something like that. They drew a huge crowd last year. I think they drew 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 fans to see LSU baseball. They're going to do that again. I think they're going to Hammond to play the game against the Southeastern Lions on another Sunday in an exhibition. The softball team's got a series of exhibitions, at fall exhibitions at home as well, including one against Southern. I'm trying to remember the last time LSU and Southern played in softball. It's been a long time. I can't remember. So there'll be some cool things coming up with the bat and ball here and then I guess LSU baseball does the Purple and Gold World Series where they play a series of games. So. Yeah, only place in America, perhaps, where you can go out in the fall and there might be 400, 500 people watching LSU scrimmage each other in baseball.
Well, JD, we appreciate you. What do y'all have going on at WFB, getting back to some football this weekend?
Yeah, yesterday I typed up and sent out the schedule for Sportsline Friday night. I think there's maybe 6 games on Thursday, a lot more on Friday. I think we consistently have been getting over 20, 25 games on the air each week in terms of highlights and scores. And it's hard to believe. I think this is it's week 6 of the regular season. The regular season is already half over. And moving into the fall, before you know it, it'll be, I think Halloween's on a Friday night as well. And then you'll have eventually Thanksgiving and the playoffs and teams that are still playing on Black Friday are having a great season, and then the Superdome in early December when the Christmas parties are starting. So it's the high school season's moving fast and furious. A lot of big games coming up this week. Southern back in action. Kevin Baptiste working hard for us as well. Going to drive all the way to Daytona Beach, Florida, to cover Southern and Bethune-Cookman. He might mix in some pleasure with his business, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that if you're going to drive that far. And Southern's been struggling. They're 1-4 on a 3-game losing streak. So certainly there's been some grumbling across town about Terrence Graves and the way those guys are playing. But hopefully they can start putting some wins together. And I think I'll be covering not only the LSU-South Carolina game on Saturday, but make my way to the Superdome on Sunday to cover the Saints and the Patriots in the Dome. See if the Saints can win 2 in a row.
Well, there you go, JD. We appreciate you joining us this morning. We'll talk to you again soon.
All right, guys. Thanks.
All right, thank you. There he is, Jacques Doucet, the sports director over there at WAFB 9 here in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Going to go check out a little Kayshawn Booty, Will Campbell on Sunday as the Saints and the Patriots face off. Shout out to JD. We appreciate him every single time. And don't forget, every single day we are brought to you by CAS Roofing and Advising. You see the folder right here, CAS Roofing and Advising. Our guy Pierce Patterson from CAS. He does great work. His phone number is 225-910-0619. Give him a call. He'll hop on your roof, check it out for you, let you know if you need any help. If there's any damage, if there is, he'll walk you through the process. If not, you got your roof checked, you know you're good to go. But it's always good to have a reliable roofer's number, and Pierce and CAS are the best in the business. 225-910-0619 is the phone number. All right, so back to Saturday. A handful of the names and the numbers to look out for for South Carolina in this matchup with LSU on Saturday. Their running back, number 1, Rasul Faison, highly touted coming into the season. He is, I think, a 7th-year player. He got the Pavia rule, helped him out a little bit. He's number 1, 6 foot, 218 pounds so far in the year. He's got 41 carries, 163 yards, and 3 touchdowns. That is 4 yards per carry. Against Vandy, he was 15 for 74 and a touchdown. That's right below 5 per carry. Mizzou, he had 6 carries for 5 yards. Not very good. And against Kentucky, 8 carries, 23 yards, 2 touchdowns, still below 3 yards a carry. He's very highly touted coming into the season, and that's turned into my surprise, really, that they are as bad as they are with the rushing attack. The fact that they are ranked lower than LSU in the rushing attack in the SEC, because he's extremely talented, and I expected him to be a problem. And he can be. I mean, he's stout. Like I said, 6 foot, 218. He's strong. He's a very patient running back, which is where some of those problems can arise if the line does not do a very good job creating push or getting to the second level, which is some of their issues. He sits behind the line a little bit looking for the crease, which can usually lead to 1-yard runs, 2-yard runs, no gain. Some of the similar trust your track things that we talk about with Caden Durham. But he's a north-south back. He's not going out of bounds. He's trying to run through somebody. He likes to put 1 foot in the ground, make a cut, and get some momentum. And he's a good catcher out of the backfield. He's a good enough receiver to be a problem. So they'll also use Attaway, number 27, as a back. But Faison, very talented, but can cause his own issues by waiting behind the line, being almost too patient at times. And with their offensive line struggles, that can become somewhat of an issue. So he's an extremely talented back, but their rushing attack is something that is not highly touted. So we'll see. And obviously LSU's done a great job against the rush. And so from a defensive standpoint, he can cause issues, but I trust what LSU's defense is going to be able to do against Faison in this rushing attack. Really, when in the run game, I'm more concerned about 16 than I am about number 1. As good as he is, obviously a very mature player. I put old in all caps. Like Seville says, he's a grown man. He is. And so we'll see the challenges he brings. Keep an eye out for number 1. Next up, number 8. I think we all know number 8 for South Carolina. Big Nicholas Harbor. Here is Faison when he was at Utah State. He's strong.
Physical.
He's physical. South Carolina struggles to create push and give him lanes to run in. And it has caused them to not be as successful as I think many expected. But next up, number 8, Nicholas Harbor. Lloyd, do you remember old Nick Harbor?
He changed his name. It was Nicholas.
Right.
And now he just goes by Nick. But yes, this is somebody this is what dreams are made of. Like at LSU we talked to Shea about him during the recruitment when he was very much in the fold for LSU.
Right.
Wanted to run track. He is touched by God himself the way he is built. And I wouldn't say that it's exactly panned out, maybe. I think the physical – there's no physical limitations.
6'5", 240.
Runs a 4.2.
Runs a 4.2. When I was looking at a lot of times when I do these breakdowns, look at this NFL draft, like scouting database.
Oh, he'll get drafted.
I was just looking at it, and when the measurements and things are in blue, that means they're like elite. He was elite in size, speed, like every physical category possible. He was elite. He's currently on the year, 11 catches, 220 yards, and a touchdown. He opened the season up 3 catches, 99 yards, and a touchdown. 66 yards on 4 catches against Vandy. 45 yards, 3 catches against Mizzou. What I wrote in all caps, freak of nature, laboratory, as in he looks like he was created in a laboratory. And he's a beyond impressive athlete. Nicholas Harbor is an absolute freak. I mean, like, freak of all freaks. I think he was number 1 on the freaks list.
He was 2 years in a row.
Because that's what
you really can't pick anybody else.
That's what he is. It's just the thing is with Nick is he just hasn't put it together. I mean, top tier speed. He's a deep threat, and that's really all he's been through 3 years in college, or 2 years, 2 seasons really. He's just a deep threat. He's just a speed guy. He's a big mismatch, speed-wise, size-wise.
Everything-wise.
But from a technical standpoint of the position, he leaves a lot to be desired. Like Lloyd said, he's very raw. He is not. He doesn't have this route tree. He's not this this big time. Like, he doesn't have glue for hands. He's still
learning the position.
Learning wide receiver, because a guy like that, when he was in high school, I mean, all he had to do was just run, and it's Madden. Like, it's a video game.
He was also on the defensive side of the ball. It was between, and this doesn't happen often, it was between defensive end and wide receiver. And how do you want to utilize him? He wanted to play wide receiver because he is a track guy that wanted to. I don't know if he runs track anymore at South Carolina,
but he wanted to do both.
He wanted to do both,
right?
But so that's how you end up at wide receiver. But yeah, this is a man that can. It's just somebody you got to star,
right?
Because don't let it happen to you. Don't be the one where he figures it out. Like, don't let him get behind you. Obviously, you know what he's going to try to do, what they want to do with him. It's a bit like Trey'Dez Green, but in a different way. Or you could, like, if you put Chris Hilton and Trey'Dez Green together, this is what you get,
right?
With the size and speed, and it's a bit of a one-trick pony where it feels like there's more in the tank for you, but you're not utilizing all of it, and it's just kind of head-scratching. That's Nick Harbor.
Right. Yeah, no, I mean, he's impressive, like, just looking at him.
Yeah.
But just from the actual football standpoint, he's still figuring those things out. But he can be a game breaker. He just still is learning
how to do
football in a sense. And so, obviously, you need to have your eyes on number 8. He can break the game. He has the ability. But
don't let this guy beat you.
You should be able to take care of business.
And if he does, there's a simple solution. Do what everybody does. Grab him. Don't let him get away. Just hold him.
And the good thing from a size standpoint, now he is 240, but when you're talking about a 6'5" wide receiver, it would be nice to line him up against a 6'5" cornerback, wouldn't it not?
Oh, I was doing the math in my head of who would you say that's their best? I don't want to say best,
no,
but
that's we have some remainders on the
list.
Right.
I'm just wondering what
he
you
is
do with them.
The scariest.
Yeah.
Because of what he can do, but he has not been their best receiver this season. So it'll be interesting. Now and this is the thing, they go. Mansour gets his side of the field, then they swap out boundary side. So it just depends where the receivers line up. But I trust this LSU defense and the way they can handle it. After him, the guy that's been their best receiver is Dre Jacobs, Vandrevius Jacobs, goes by Dre, number 19, 6 foot, 182 pounds. He's got 18 catches, 323 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And in their last 2 games is where he has broken out. Against Missouri, 7 catches, 128 yards, and a touchdown. Against Kentucky, 5 catches, 108 yards. This is his 3rd year in college football. Started at Florida State, transferred to South Carolina. Really hasn't done all that much in his career. And he's just broken out over these last 2 games. Dre Jacobs, like I said, number 19, he has come out of nowhere. Back-to-back 100-plus yard games. It's yards after catch. He's very fast. He's the most technically ready receiver. Like, he's their best wide receiver from a technical standpoint. And he has been impressive, like I said, these last 2 games. He's got 323 yards on the season. And 136 of that, so about half almost, is in the last 2 games combined. So he's been very impressive so far. Dre Jacobs, number 19, he is their biggest threat, their most consistent threat from a wide receiver standpoint. They also have number 18, Brian Rowe Jr., 6 foot, 170 pounds, so also a smaller guy. Yeah, I mean, he's fast. It's
just a different defense.
Right, it is. It's unfortunate.
Makes my skin crawl.
Number 18, Brian Rowe Jr., 6 foot, 170, is a true freshman, and I always keep my eyes peeled for the true freshmen that can get on the football field in SEC, because that means they're usually a little bit different. He's fast, man, a speedster. He's returned some punts. He's not their punt returner because they have a DB, Vicari Swain, who has returned 3 to the house so far this year. So he's obviously got that job. But Rowe is very impressive. 8 catches, 73 yards, and a touchdown. Have your eyes peeled for number 18 as well on the outside. They also will use number 6, Big Murph, 6'2", 195. He's a bigger body out there. 5 catches, 94 yards. Then they use 2 tight ends. Number 5, Jordan Dingle, 6'4", 242 pounds. There you go. 4 catches for 63 yards. And then number 87, Brady Hunt, 6'5", 248, 6 catches, 64 yards. They use their tight ends out of necessity. They're not really featured in the game plan all that much. But when I look at this group overall, really good athletes. They've got some impressive size and speed, a good mix of both. But they're very raw. They've got a true freshman and then Nick Harbor, who are 2 very raw athletes that are on the field because of their athleticism, how fast, how talented they are from that standpoint. They've got 1 wide receiver to me that is pretty technically sound in Dre Jacobs. We'll see what they look like on Saturday. But the biggest question mark about this group is how much the offensive line handicaps them. Similar conversation to when you look at what LSU has. LSU's got much more talent, more technically sound at these positions, this, that, and the other. The offensive line handicaps your ability to make things happen because it all comes down to getting those guys the football. So just to run through LSU's guys, and Lloyd, I'm going to run through these names. I want you to give me 2 things you're looking for out of this group of names.
2 things I'm looking for out of
the group of names I'm about to list out to you. Caden Durham, Harlan Berry, Nick and Aaron Anderson, Xavion Thomas, Barian Brown, Chris Hilton, Kyle Parker, Trey Des Green, Bauer Sharp, and Donovan Green. 2 things you were looking for specifically from the skill group for LSU on Saturday.
Get them the football. I mean, those are all like you go down the list. I get erect, but right. I don't. The clothes come off and nobody's home. It's unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean, going through that name.
That's
Caden Durham 4-star, Harlan Berry 5-star, and I know we don't play the star game, but like just going through that list: Durham, Berry, Anderson, Thomas, Brown, Hilton, Parker, Green, Sharp, Green. A litany of talent. Like just an embarrassment of riches, like we've said all year.
It is a little embarrassing that you have that.
I know.
In the toy chest,
right.
Mom doesn't let you play no more.
Because as much as I said the offensive line can handicap the South Carolina offense and the way they get it to playmakers, it's almost more embarrassing because LSU is that much more talented at those spots, and you have the same issue that you just can't get them the football and allow them to be threats.
The other thing that's frustrating is I don't know who to point the gun at. Like, is it the offensive line? Is it us hurt? Like, is it his belly? Is it play calling? Like, there's so many unanswered questions that I'm just wielding this thing like a God. Who? It's not me. It will be. But that's what I feel like because like I'm looking for. I would love to see a healthy Caden Durham if you want like an honest answer. I'd like, and if that's not the case, Harlan Berry. Time is now. I'd love to see him get going, and it just feels like because of all the names that you just listed, the way the season has played out, it's like you haven't really utilized him, and the last thing you saw was the best thing you saw, but it took forever, and you can make excuses for freshmen, but like you said, when freshmen get on the field, there's a reason for it, and Harlan Berry's one of those.
Yeah.
And I just would like to, if you can't find offense, he's walking offense.
Yeah, I understand the handicaps.
Even names
the other
like
ways.
Jawan.
He can't pass protect.
I don't care.
Small, that. You need playmakers right now on offense, and that's what 22
if
is.
If you're gonna do this dink and dunk,
put the guy
dink and dunk it to them. Dink and dunk to the Berry.
So, look, I think
like that's all he is. What do they call it now? Tackle the man with the football, all-star. Not getting tackled.
Right. No, I'm with you. And I think LSU has the better skilled players once again. I don't know how many times we'll go into a game and they won't. The biggest thing in this conversation between South Carolina's skill guys and LSU's skill guys is which offense gets them the football the most. And a lot of it, I think, is going to rely on number 1 for South Carolina and number 29 for LSU. It's going to be the rushing attack. Which of these lower-level rushing attacks in the conference finds a rhythm, hits their stride, and finds some success? That will turn into success for the offense. I think LSU's defense is not as susceptible to the run as South Carolina's, but both of these rushing attacks have not been good, and I think that's what it's going to come down to.
They're the two worst in the league.
Right, that's what it's going to come down to. Which one of those two finds their stride?
If you're South Carolina, you have to be embarrassed.
Oh my gosh. And that's where my concern comes in of if one of those two, if I'm looking at it right now, unbiased.
They should be better at it than LSU.
Which one do I think is going to figure it out on Saturday? As good as the LSU defense is, it's still more likely to be South Carolina.
Well, and it won't be because of the the running back. It'll be
which it can be, but it'll be because of 16.
Yes,
that's where you now have to
because
LSU has to stop two guys.
Lest we forget the problems that LSU had in the last 2 years, and Lenore Sellers is that in a bottle.
Right.
So you would like to see it again, but DJ Lagway's not necessarily a runner. Cade Klubnik's white. Like that, he's an all-Catholic League player. Like we were seeing it happen right in front of your face. He can't do that. Lenore Sellers can. He can take the game over with it.
No, it's the closest
he can
thing
throw it 16 times and run it 30.
It's the closest thing to who that we've
Cam
seen.
Newton.
And
not Arch Manning.
Right. That 2010 LSU defense
struggled.
Was pretty good.
Yeah.
Overall, right? And
don't you besmirch that name behind you?
I would never.
And he didn't go.
He tackled him.
He tackled him.
He tackled him.
People forget.
You tackled him.
If you make a football field 105 yards, that's a tackle.
100%.
Called him.
And it's gonna be on
other side of the field.
Yeah, it's gonna be on.
That's a highlight.
It's gonna be on the draft day highlight. He tracked him down.
Cam Newton, huh? Superman can bleed.
But Lenore Sellers can also throw that Superman cape on.
Yes.
And do the same and do very similar things.
Perkins.
He is not Cam. There will never be another Cam.
No.
But
I
remember sitting at home watching South Carolina A&M, I believe it was last year, and I was like,
oh my God! Thank God he got hurt.
I'm so glad he got
That's true. I mean, don't hurt him on purpose, but that would be nice if concussions happen. Put him in protocol. Nuss is hurt. It's not fair.
After looking at South Carolina's skill positions,
they've built their they
have talent, they have athleticism, speed, all those things. 16 is still the scariest player on the football field.
You know who is licking his chops and wishing he was probably Gus Malzahn would be like, oh, I could have had two. Like, if you're gonna be offensive coordinator, just go find the best quarterback and go do what you do. No, he doesn't even have one, and he's still putting up offense.
Man! Well,
Thank God he's not.
Yeah, I mean, of course, it's Mike Shula, offensive coordinator for South Carolina. So those are some of the
big nepo ring.
Hey,
Dad, who should I hire? Oh,
those are some of the names to look out for South Carolina on Saturday. I think LSU has more talent, but it really just comes down to who gets these guys the football. And I think LSU's defense is better than South Carolina's. We will break that down tomorrow. We appreciate you guys hanging out with us this morning as we're going to close it out here, going 13 for 13 with a little athletic connections and, of course, our Barstool trivia this morning with the help of each and every one of you beautiful souls in the chat.
Yeah, it seemed to take a turn in
the
chat.
I noticed.
Yeah, it happened. Look,
let's all be friends, guys.
It's getting close to game day.
It is.
I understand there's contention in the air. People are trying to bench Nussmeier.
Which is why I
hire Sam Pittman.
Need a win.
Needle dick. God, it's so.
It is.
God.
Have you ever? Has it ever felt like this before? Like
yeah,
but like
no.
I feel like because in my memory, this is different than I've ever felt the contingency.
I don't think you've ever had.
Obviously, there's never been this much buy-in because there's never been
this much buy-in.
This much legit, like literal buy-in.
I'm trying to. It would. I mean,
don't remember.
The thing is, it's like when Flynn was clearly hurt, right? When he got the high ankle sprain, but he played through it, and you didn't really notice because it wasn't like it did take a factor of his game away, but he was still skilled enough, and he had the people around him to where he's like, I can get the football out of my hands. And then also, by the way, Ryan Perley was right behind me.
Right.
Like, I have to play or else I'll never play. And so that's like, I'm trying to find a time when your best player is clearly hurt and you're trying to work yourself around it without having to, like, even when Leonard got hurt, Darius Guys came in, you're like, Jesus Christ. Okay, that's fine. Like, it's never in a world did I think that Leonard Fournette could go down. You'd be like, no, this guy's actually going to break the rushing record. Like, okay. But so there's not really a comp, and that's why I guess people's brains go to Van Buren, but I can't fully comprehend what's happening with Nuss.
Yeah.
And so that's the frustrating part.
And that's the part
and that's
to
what I'm
me.
saying. When I don't know where to point the gun, and that's like, Nuss could be fully healthy, as people say. There's takes out there that people think he's fine. And I know what I'm looking at, but if you want to accept that theory, then it's, how bad is this offensive line?
Right.
If he doesn't trust it, and that's what it is, where he can't feel like he can look downfield or has any time to throw, then that's why he's moving his feet the way he is and contouring his body the way he is. It's not because he hurts. It's because he doesn't trust what's going on beneath him. And so he's constantly trying to get the ball out and not bail, but he has to bail. And this whole thing kind of went south after Braylon Moore got hurt. So that's the biggest key in my mind, is getting him back to 100%. Because you can look at the numbers. Like, his PFF grade has gone down considerably since he had the ankle injury, and you continue to play him like a fool because let him get healthy. But they're not letting anybody get healthy, and that's where it comes to this 1-0 fucking mindset and this mentality of, it feels like I'm coaching for my job, so I don't care about any of these people. Go out and play. Instead of having the forethought to be like, you know what would be better is having somebody at 100% instead of playing them at 65% all year. That's where I'm at. I'm frustrated.
Yeah. No, I'm with you.
See me at Alec Box on Sunday.
Yep, see you there, 1:30. Before we go to Pizza Byron's.
Next Tuesday. Let's connect athletically.
Let's connect. This will be nice to connect. Let's see.
Manning.
Manager. Skipper. Coach. Gaffer.
What is a gaffer?
I feel like that sounds right. The leader of a team. Let's see.
Call me gaffer. Luck. Celtics. That's the only two I saw.
Couch.
Browns. Tim Couch.
Or Couch, Manning, Carr, Luck.
Oh, all first-round picks. First overall picks. David Carr, not Derek Carr.
Not Derek.
Ugh.
Let's see. Captain, catcher, center, Celtics.
C's.
The C's. Bang.
Nice.
Bang.
Sometimes they stick out. I wish the pilots were back. Sick logo.
I love the Expos logo. I have an Expos hat. People always ask me, what do you remember about the Expos? And I'm like,
Vladimir Guerrero.
That's all I know, and that they have a sick logo, and I like the hat. They're like, oh, Expos fan? Nope.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
Cool logo. That's all that matters. Cool hat. That is a nice logo.
I don't know what we're piloting because that looks like a ship. But a pilot, I think of the air.
It is.
So you know what it is? It's the front of a plane. Or like,
I mean, maybe. Yeah.
We're not studying. It's cool. Like the work,
Don't ruin it.
I like the work that he did.
Don't ruin it.
Good colors.
Don't ruin it. Don't ruin it.
Let's do a daily dozen trivia.
Let's get ready to have the same reaction to the celebrity mashup we have every single day.
Ugh. Turned on.
No.
Game 808.
Miss Lou.
Shout out Tom Granning. Saw him yesterday. It's great. Oh, that is
same reaction every time.
Not that we know these people.
So the woman is Brie Larson, is it not? Captain Marvel.
And Is that Mark Wahlberg?
It looks like a Wahlberg.
Donnie?
I don't think it's Donnie. Donnie's hair doesn't look that good. Donnie's got bad hair. Sorry, Donnie.
Did you see, what's his name? From Boston. Friends with Matt Damon, Batman.
Ben Affleck.
And Jen got back together at a movie premiere. They can't quit each other.
That's what we need. It's what we need Katie back.
Mm-hmm.
Katie would love to talk about that.
And the tweet I saw.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, like sometimes the sex is just too good.
I believe that's Mark Wahlberg and Brie Larson.
It is definitely Mark Wahlberg. Mark Andrews.
Nice. Mock. Mock.
You shot the fucking captain. I didn't know it was Jeter.
That's such a good movie.
Sit up straight when you're talking to me.
Gator needs his gat. Bill Callahan was
Big Tom Callahan's son. Tom Callahan. Tommy boy.
Oh, gosh.
You're right, you're not your dad. Your dad can sell a ketchup popsicle to a woman in white gloves. Ketchup popsicle.
I love when you fall into the movies. The Raiders?
That sounds right.
That's what Carl Cat said. That's what Brian Burgess said.
They did. They went to the Super Bowl. Who was the quarterback? The Gannon. Rich Gannon.
Yeah. The Gannon.
The Gannon.
The MLB, the Diamondbacks infielder led the National League in triples in 2000, stolen bases in 1999, and had their series-winning hit in the 2001 National League Division Series.
Who was hustling like this? I bet they loved him.
It sounds like a legend. I mean, triples and stolen bases.
I'm trying to think of a Diamondbacks infielder.
Seafield, why does Lloyd like all the same movies I liked when I was in my 20s?
I'm in my 30s.
Good movies.
Oh, yeah. See, those are timeless. They don't make comedy like that anymore. So you just rewatch the old ones. Don't remake them. Just watch the good ones.
Yes.
Don't make a Tommy. Well, you can't. He's dead. But
you can't. And, oh, my gosh, if you even tried to.
Boycott. It'd burn the theater down.
Dude, it would be a mess. Luis Gonzalez, Carl Dunn says.
That was the only player.
Brian Burgess says Womack, question mark.
Tony? That would make more sense. Luis Gonzalez played outfield. And he did not. He was on steroids. He got the game-winning hit in the World Series against the Yankees in 2001 because 9/11. And the Yankees were supposed. It was in the script. But Luis Gonzalez had other plans. Mariano Rivera blew a save. Never happens.
Yeah, Brian Burgess said Tony Womack.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Zach LaVine is currently on what? The Sacramento Kings.
King me. Huh.
Couldn't tell you.
You could have just said what state borders Iowa.
We have no answer.
Illinois?
Ohio?
I could drive through Iowa and not know.
We were in Iowa.
I'm sure we were.
We stayed in Iowa when we were Council Bluffs, Iowa, for Omaha.
Oh yeah,
so
the
Nebraska's
casino
right there. Iowa.
Chicago.
Went through Kansas City, so that's Missouri.
Alabama, Arkansas.
I don't think it's Missouri. Illinois, Brian Burst, Illinois.
Yeah.
Hunter Hall, 2 claps for drunk LeBron.
Jabron. I told you that was going to be an ad.
Of course it was going to be an ad.
He's not retiring. He's drinking. He's in his drink. He's an unk.
Well, no, and then I saw him at practice. He had no socks on with his shoes, and they were like, no socks and free balling? Oh, it's over. Haunted habanero is a flavor currently offered by what chain that specializes in chicken wings?
Chicken wing. It's chicken. Who don't love chicken?
Probably Buffalo Wild Wings. B-dubs.
Haunted habanero.
I've been hammering wings lately.
Buffalo Wild Wings.
Brian Burr said Wingstop.
That's what I was gonna get there. I said, "What's the?" I just saw a chicken
Wingstop's the other
tender
one,
commercial
right,
for Wingstop
right.
last night.
But I've been going to Empire Wings.
Oh yeah, that's
Way better.
yeah. I've never been, but I've heard.
To Empire? Do you like chicken wings? From Albertsons.
No.
Don't ever do that again.
I got them. Actually, I got them.
No,
Yes.
no.
I'm poor right now, so buy one get 3 free. It's so good.
Yeah, they're expired.
You just got to eat them the day you get them.
But you don't.
I froze them, and now they're out the freezer. Now they're in the fridge,
Okay.
and they will be consumed today. If I don't eat them today, I will not eat. I will throw them away.
Good. Wingstop is better than Buffalo Wild Wings, but Empire is the best out of all of them.
I think Empire.
Wingstop has really good fries, though. Better fries than Empire.
I think Empire is like just a Louisiana thing, right?
Maybe. I don't know. KOK Wings is a Louisiana thing, and they're outstanding.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
good.
Ron put me on that.
But it's packed. It is so hard to get in that place. They have one in Tiger Stadium.
I saw that. And if you just want good old Chicken Shack.
Chicken Shack
is
staple.
so good.
It'll change your life.
It will, in a bunch of different ways.
You'll get introduced one time, and you'll die by that place for the remainder of your time breathing.
And it's a respect factor.
Yeah, 100%.
Hold on, this is I think of this kid way too much.
Which kid?
Whenever he talks chicken.
Oh,
Have you ever seen this?
I haven't. It's not on the screen yet.
It's worth it. Oh, it's late. Jeez.
What do you mean, like time?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I know.
Hold on. He doesn't need.
Here in the freezing cold, I'm here in the freezing cold getting free chicken sandwiches because the food tastes great. I mean, it's chicken. It's fried chicken. I like fried chicken.
Truly. I'm
It's
looking at myself.
fried chicken.
Yeah, I'm in
Chicken.
freezing cold for a chicken sandwich.
Who doesn't like chicken?
Chicken Shack is better than Blue Store, but Blue Store's not overrated. Blue Store is very good. All right, what's
I've
the next
never
question?
understood the
The Blue Store?
yeah the fried rice with the fried chicken. I didn't know that those two things would go so well together. Never thought to do it, but it is a great combination.
It's outstanding. Weapons and Barbarians actor creators from this cult favorite IFC sketch comedy series from 2007 to 2000.
Oh, I know this.
Explain the show to me, and I'll see if I can come up with the name.
No, hold
I
on.
can't come up with it.
I wish this is old school.
Old school.
Something about white kids. That's what it's in the name.
White kids.
The whitest kid you know. I'm pretty sure.
Okay. I trust you. I trust you to get it right. The whitest kids you know. Nobody in the chat is stepping up, so.
I just.
You don't trust yourself right now.
I did this.
There you go. Sometimes you don't overthink it.
That's right.
Paralysis by analysis.
There's the co-creator or the star of The Whitest Kid You Know was killed by the government. So look it up.
This is 21 Jump Street. Outstanding movie.
Oh, Jeff.
Or is it 22 Jump Street? Which one?
2014.
2014 feels like the first one.
Yeah.
It was the second one. Shoot.
Yeah, it came out. They came out pretty.
They did. It was back to back. Because, I mean, they crushed the first one.
Yeah.
I don't know. The Emancipation of Mimi. Music Box and
Is this
Rainbow.
Mariah Carey?
I have no idea.
I'm pretty sure because M&M raps about this.
Yeah, Caden Harris with a great point. Blue Store pricing is wild. 4 pieces of chicken and fries for $7. I'm not complaining. No, that's
crazy.
That's my favorite part is that it hasn't faltered.
And they
still just I'll give you a crisp $5 bill, and I'm going to get the best bang for my buck possible.
And they marinate in a mop bucket.
The last time I went to Blue Store, I tried to get some meal. It was like the 3 whatever with like a breast and 2 wings or something, and they didn't have a breast, so they gave me 15 wings.
Oh,
awesome! I ate them all. But appreciate you guys joining us this morning, hanging out with us here on this Wednesday as we get ready for LSU-South Carolina on Saturday. Make sure you let us know where you're going to be. Get in the Discord. We'll be out there on Saturday.
I need help with the Discord calls. Is Discord something you can open up on the computer?
Yeah, should be.
I would imagine.
We'll get that figured out. We'll get in touch with Begas and Fonz.
Yes.
We'll be back tomorrow morning, 7 to 9 a.m. We'll see you then.
Merry Chrysler.